Good morning. We are in Ensenada, Mexico. And this is different than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but here's the view. There's a port here. There's there. Lots of buses lined up, ready to take people on excursions, I assume. This is kind of freaky. The dock is like literally just this. Although it does look like there's another dock over there maybe, with a different terminal building. And there's a marina right here. And then there are mountains in the background. It's more populous and more dense right here at the port than I was expecting. I am at Next Cruise to see about booking my next cruise because Ben says that Royal Caribbean is probably his favorite. Not sure if that is excluding Disney, but I'm thinking about booking one for next spring break in 2024. But I want to see which ones leave on a certain date, and I feel like they would be able to look that up for me. However, they're doing a crew drill right now, a shipwide crew drill, and so they're busy with the drill and stuff. So and all the appointments are full, so I have to wait just to see if they have time to answer a question for me. Otherwise, you can book your next cruise in the app, not the actual specific cruise, but you can book like a placeholder. So it's a $200 non-refundable deposit. You have up to 12 months to book it. You don't have to take it in 12 months, you just have to book it within 12 months. And if you book it, choose your ship and sail date, within 2 months you get $600 off. I'm starving, so I came up to the Windjammer buffet, which is very, very busy, to get a little bit of breakfast. And the view out this side of the ship is really different. It's a shipping container facility. Okay, I'm back in the room and I'm on the balcony. The kids are still asleep. It's very dark in the room. It's 10:30. I had breakfast. I went back on my way after breakfast. I stopped back at the Next Cruise desk because it was like 10:25, and I figured if they had a 10 o'clock appointment, it might be done, and it was. So one lady was able to help me. What I wanted her to do was look up which Royal Caribbean cruises were leaving on a very specific date. And it was the Sunday of Megan's spring break in 2024. But I didn't like the options. There was only Oasis class and like Anthem, and that was it. And we'd really rather go on a Voyager class. I'd really like to try the Radiance class. There are some Voyager class ships and some Radiance class ships that leave on the Saturday of Megan's spring break. But in order to do that, we would have to fly down on Friday, and she would have class on Friday. This is the problem we keep running into with Megan's spring break. So, an excursion is going. So see, they guide you right out. Looks like they're gonna go to that shuttle bus over there. Okay, it's 11 o'clock, so I went in and woke up the kids so that we could actually do some stuff today and go have lunch and things. And the fog has kind of burned off here, and you can see the mountains a lot better, and everything looks a lot brighter and colorful, so I'll show you that here in a second. And Megan asked, since we're just docked here, if we could actually get off and walk around, just down here below the ship, so we can say we were actually in Mexico. And I said, sure, that was fine, so we'll probably do that. So you can see there's been lots of groups for shore excursions leaving. And everything just looks a little brighter now, like the sun kind of burned off the fog or the haze that was out here before. There's a Holiday Inn Express right there. And I think I see a Wendy's. Or a Carl's Jr.? Burger King? Something. This is interesting because on a recent Cruise with Ben and David video, they came here just recently on Norwegian something, a Norwegian ship. And they said that they showed this cruise port being just chaos and very, very crowded and stuff. And I don't know what the deal was. And I don't know if they were here or if they were over there at that orange building. But I mean, this is very peaceful and quiet and mellow. So I don't know why it was like that unless there was more than one ship in at the same time. I'm really not sure. But this seems fine. I mean, it seems very organized. These buses have just been coming one at a time and picking groups up and going off on their excursions. We're back in the Windjammer because the dining room was closed. I'm a little bummed. I was actually really looking forward to having another nice lunch in the main dining room, but I totally understand why they don't, because when Ben and I had lunch in the main dining room on the Port Day in Cabo, it was like us and 3 other people, and the wait staff was bored out of their minds. So I understand why they don't do that. But and there are other places we could go. We could go to Promenade Cafe or, you know, stuff on the top deck. But we came here to the Windjammer, and that's what we're gonna have for lunch. Okay, I wanna point out that they have Ben and Jerry's down here. I was disappointed I didn't like any of the desserts in the Windjammer today, so I thought we'd come down here to the Promenade and Cafe Promenade and get something. But just important for you to know, the desserts in Cafe Promenade are the same as the desserts in the Windjammer that day. So they must just bring them down. So a little bummed about that. All right, we just came back to the room. We have good news and bad news. Monkey has a friend. He's doing some reading, but he brings with him the dreaded luggage tags. No! We have to get off the ship tomorrow, bless you.
Thank you.
Hey, 5.
He remembered we had 5, that's nice, but we're not going to be able to have them take 5 unless we stick our clothes in our backpacks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like straight up right about
No, it's
there.
over there, 'cause
Yeah.
that's the little boat.
We got off the ship. Look, that and I kind of match. We got off the ship right here. They don't like me to show security in the video, so we're gonna just walk up and down the length of the ship and look around here a little bit at the port. We're not gonna go anywhere else. So I'll show you the ship. This is the stern. Oh, there's people going down the slides. Gosh, it'd be chilly to do that. It's really not warm. It's really not shorts weather. We all have pants on today. Ben and I have long sleeves on. This boat is the one we saw in the water right before we left Los Angeles, and our room is right about there. It's pretty quiet, honestly. This is not a place where I would recommend trying to get off and walk anywhere. You really have to kind of be on some kind of organized tour or shore excursion, either through the cruise line or, you know, a private one. All the buses come in and pick up right here, but we're pretty far away from the town, and just from a safety standpoint here in Mexico, I think it would be better to be in a group of people. Okay, after that exhausting trip all the way to Mexico, we're just resting on the sofa here for a minute. Okay, I'm not going to take my phone because it needs to charge, but we're going to go upstairs and do some things. We're going to play mini golf. I want to play air hockey. The kids already got to play. And then we're going to split up, and the kids are going to go climb a rock wall. And I'm going to go play movie quotes?
Yeah.
You want to play movie quotes too? Okay, let me check how long the rock climbing is, and we'll see if we can do both. One more thing. Good thing I checked the schedule before we left. We also have a reservation for laser tag at 4 o'clock. So as soon as the kids are done with rock climbing and I'm done with movie quotes trivia, we're going to have to meet up at Studio B to go play laser tag, which I'm definitely not going to try to film because I have to hold my laser gun and concentrate on killing the bad guys.
Killing?
Or zapping the other team.
Kapow!
Okay, we went up onto the top deck and we played mini golf. I will say this. It is much nicer playing mini golf when the ship is not moving. Because when the ship is moving, it's too windy. But if you're in a tropical environment and the ship is not moving, it gets too hot up there. Please note that on the mini golf courses on the ships, there is no shade. So it can get hot if you're in the sun. Then the kids went and did rock climbing, right? And I tried to go to movie quotes trivia, but there were a lot of people there and I felt weird being by myself. And I came back to the room instead, and then the kids came a little bit after. But I decided that I don't know if I could ever do a cruise by myself. Who else feels that way? I just would feel so awkward. Part of the reason I like cruising is because I'm with the people that I love and like spending time with. So I'm kind of worried about that because the kids say now, like, of course I'll go on a cruise with you and Mom, but like I can't get my oldest son to go with us ever. And so I'm kind of worried about that. I know a lot of you are solo cruisers, so tell me your thoughts on that. But I don't know how you guys do it. We went to laser tag and we were the first group. The first reservation was at 4:00. They were letting people in who did not have a reservation. And laser tag does not cost any extra. It's just you can make a reservation. They had the line outside divided into the people who had a reservation and the people who didn't have a reservation. And I think what they were doing was they needed so many people per slot. And if they didn't have enough people in the reservation group, then they would pull some people from the walk-ups. They were pretty efficient about it. I think they were having some technical difficulties with the computer or whatever when they first started, and they had to like reset it a couple times. You have to have closed-toed shoes on, and there's a height requirement. So like one little girl didn't get to play because she was...
No, she got to play.
Oh, she had to stay with her mom. That's right. She was only 4. They didn't want her running around in there by herself. If you don't know this, it's on the ice rink. You're not walking on ice. It has a floor, doesn't it?
That'd be so fun.
If we were walking on the ice? Yes, you must do laser tag with skates on. Ice skates. Was it just a plastic bottom?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a whole big, elaborate, inflatable thing. And it's exactly the size of the ice rink, so they must have had it like custom made. And it's like a big maze kind of thing. It's like, with walls and little windows and stuff that you can see through. And it just sits on top of the ice rink, so that's where it is. And so it is a little cool in there because of the ice, but also you're kind of moving around kind of fast and wearing the heavy vest for the laser tag, so you don't get cold. And it's fun. How long do you think we were in there?
Probably more than 15.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes maybe for each group. And they're pretty efficient. While one group is playing, the next group is getting suited up and they're like telling them the rules and stuff like that and showing them how to use your laser gun and stuff like that. And then when the group that plays is leaving, then the next group is going right in. So they just take in one group after another. The computer divides you into 2 teams. Here on this ship, it was the aliens versus the robots. And it keeps your score and you're assigned a name. And so then at the end, you can see how you did. I did the worst of us. I got 620 points, Ben. You got 900 points. And Megan blew us away with how many?
1,660.
1,660 points. And Megan was, for the entire game, the most accurate. Right?
Yep.
Yep, she was the most accurate shooter. But our team lost, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were the...
Did you see the other team's score?
No.
I don't remember what it was, but it was like way higher than ours.
There was a dad on the other team that was really good. He kept shooting me in the back. He was stealthy. But
he was really tall, but really sneaky.
yeah, he was tall but really sneaky. Were we the aliens?
Yeah, we were the
We were the aliens and they were the robots. And we were in the lead first. But then they took over the lead and we never got it back. So, but it was fun. It's a fun activity. And now we're just getting ready for dinner. And the theme tonight is Mexican night. And we already looked at the menu and we've already picked out what we want. And then we're going to have to come back. And we were just having a lengthy, complicated discussion about our suitcases. Here's the tricky thing. Normally, if we're just going to fly straight home, it's no problem. We can just fill our suitcases with dirty clothes. But we still have 2 days at Disneyland after this. We want them to carry our luggage off for us. So we have to have it out before 10 o'clock tonight. That's pretty early, actually. And we will be in the show at 10 o'clock. So we have to make sure we have it out like right after dinner. So we're going to have to come back here after dinner and get our suitcases situated and out in the hall before we go to the show. We're at dinner, and Bassem has given us a table by the window. I forgot to show my tortilla soup, but basically it just looked like red soup. And we all got the corn cakes, which was different than what we were expecting. Megan also got a Caesar salad. I'm so sorry. I forgot to show our food. I got a pulled pork enchilada that came with rice and beans. It was very large and very good. We all got the tres leches cake. And the kids got, what is this? Warm chocolate chip cookie. Warm chocolate chip cookie comes with ice cream. And I also got the coconut layer cake. Because, you know, it's the last night. We got to, like, do it up. All right. Let's talk about the last night of the cruise. We had a very nice dinner. I actually really enjoyed Mexican night.
Ever.
Best dinner. We had a table by the window. What was your favorite? French night? We really, really enjoyed our waiter tonight. I've never had a woman be the main waiter. I gave her an extra tip. And she was very nice and asking us a lot of questions. And she asked how we enjoyed our cruise, and we told her we really enjoyed it. And I told her, I said, I think this is my favorite Royal Caribbean cruise so far. And she said, have you been on the big ships? And I said, yes, we were just on Harmony in May, and we actually didn't like it that much. I mean, it was fine. We had a good time. But I like this size better, don't you guys?
I agree.
Yeah, and we told her that there are too many people. And she laughed immediately like she was not surprised to hear that. I think the crew thinks that the big Oasis class ships have too many people. I said it was very difficult to get into activities and that we were always standing in line. And so it wasn't as fun. So I would say that this class and smaller are the ones that I most enjoy.
Is this bigger than Wonder?
Disney Wonder? Yes, just a little bit. They're very close. We actually, when we were on Mariner, I think we were docked next to a Disney, and they were really similar in size. This one might be like 1 or 2 decks higher. So, and
this one's got the 13 level.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's an older ship.
Right, but they were built about the same time. So, okay, and then some end of cruise logistical stuff. We just finished packing up and organizing our suitcases and putting our tags on. We put our 3 big suitcases, which we will not need anymore on this trip. So basically it was extra clothes that we didn't end up using, including like our swimwear. We didn't ever go swimming or go on the slides or anything. I would have liked to try these slides. Don't you guys think? Yeah. Some of them looked pretty neat, but it was too cold. I wouldn't have wanted to get out of the water. And then like a lot of dirty clothes and stuff are in our big suitcases. So we're not going to need to open those again until we'll have to put our toiletries in them to check them for the plane. But other than that, we just are down to our 2 little carry-on size suitcases for our last 2 days of our trip when we go to Disneyland. And Megan has hers, and Ben and I are sharing the other one. So you do need to get your suitcases packed up and ready, but you have to remember some things. Make sure you don't pack things like your SeaPass card or your toiletries that you're going to need in the morning, or your clothes that you need to put on to wear off the ship. Apparently that happens quite frequently, that people forget to pack an outfit to wear off the ship on the disembarkation day. So don't forget that. But we had to... I don't know what they do. Wear their jammies off the ship, go off in the boxers. I have no idea.
That's why I see so many kids
in pajamas. Yeah. We have those tagged now, and we put them out in the hall. And so they will take those off the ship for us, and then we will pick them up in the terminal, put them in the car. I left some extra cash in an envelope for our stateroom attendant. He had left that envelope for us with my final statement. We spent about $175, right, guys?
Yeah.
Our onboard bill was $175. I did prepay our gratuities before the cruise, but that was part of the grand total I told you for the price of this cruise, which was $1,462 for the 3 of us. That was the cruise, taxes, port fees, and prepaying my gratuities. And they did refund us each $3.27 for port fees. Sometimes your port fees will change between the time you book the cruise and when you actually take the cruise. And if there's a difference in the passenger's favor, they refund it to the passenger. So a little fun fact for you. So he left us our final statement. Basically, the only things we really bought on the ship, I had prepaid ahead of time for the cruise $120 for our photo package, and I'm going to come back to that in a second because that was actually a really good deal. We paid $60, $20 each for the escape room. That was the biggest chunk of it. And then everything else was basically drinks, right?
Yeah.
Not alcohol. The kids got a couple of they got some virgin strawberry daiquiris. We got a couple of fruity Starbucks drinks on the first day. And I got some Coca-Cola here and there. We bought a bottle of water. Was there anything else really? Oh, in the arcade. The kids played some games in the arcade. I played air hockey with them today in the arcade. That was the only money we spent on board. So going back to tips, I left some extra cash in the envelope that our stateroom attendant left for us. And then I left that envelope with that cash in it on the bed. And when he came to do our turn down service, he took that. Then because our dining situation was so complicated on this cruise, I didn't have one same serving team the whole cruise. We had different people every night. But I decided to tip extra Bassem, who was the head waiter, we think, or the dining room manager on deck 4, who was the one guy who actually did make sure we had a table to ourselves every night. And
The past 2 nights we had
the past 2 nights we were at tables for 6, and they just...
I don't think it's his fault. It's just
No, that's just what they had, and they took the extra dishes away. The server that we had tonight with Sana was absolutely terrific, and so I gave extra money for her. Now, we had already had dinner when I did this, so if you go down to guest services, they have extra gratuity envelopes sitting there that you can take, and then they have a box that you can drop the extra gratuity envelopes in if you're not able to give those extra cash tips to your person in person. Okay, you don't have to do that. I like doing that when I get exceptional service. If you did not prepay your gratuities before you got on the ship, they are automatically billed to your account and charged to the credit card you used for your expenses on the ship. Then I went down to the photo studio and went through the last of our photos because we did take a few more photos tonight. And our photographer, who we have worked with before, she was very nice. She told us it would take about 15 minutes. So by the time we had done the stuff with guest services and the tips and all that, the photos were there. I went through and I had prepaid $119, well, $119.99, so $120 for a digital photo package. Well, actually, I had a choice. I could get them digitally or I could get them printed. But I don't need 50 8x10s. So I much prefer to have them digitally because then I can do whatever I want with them. I can share them on social media. I can make Christmas cards out of them. I can make photo calendars out of them.
You can print them yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I could print them myself if I want them printed. And so I really prefer the digital. So they asked me when I was down there earlier today, do you want them digital or do you want them printed? I said I want them digital. And so then I just had to choose my 50. We took, by the photographers of the ship, 88 photos in total. And I got to pick 50 of them to keep. And since a lot of them were kind of repeats or duplicates or very similar, it wasn't that hard to pick out the 50 best ones that we liked. So when I get home, I'll get an email and be able to download them right to my computer at home when I get home. You can also download them to your phone while you're still on the ship. And they have a way to show you how to do that. You have to go to a site and then put in a code. But anyway, while I was down there doing that and I was just finishing up, this couple next to me was talking about, the husband was saying, well, I don't like how they have this deal on the first and second day of the cruise because then you only get your pictures for the first and second day of the cruise. And both his wife and I were like, no, that's not what it means. You still get all your pictures for the whole cruise. It's just if you buy the package on the first or second day of the cruise, you get a discount for the whole package. And he's like, oh, okay. But then they had it up on their screen how much, if they bought the package that I bought ahead of the cruise, that I paid $120 for, if you bought it right now tonight, it was $200. So I saved $80 by buying it ahead of time online on Royal Caribbean's website. So I strongly encourage you, if you want digital photos, to get it before you get to your ship. Yes, there's a discount on the first 2 days of the cruise, but it's even cheaper than that if you buy it ahead of time. I was explaining this to them, and when the guy heard what I had paid and saw what it costs now, he goes, wow, that's a really good tip. This isn't your first cruise. That they said that they were definitely going to remember that for next time. We are all packed up now, and we have our jammies laid out and our outfits laid out for tomorrow. We're going to go to the one last production show in the theater, which is, what is it called?
Showgirl.
Showgirl, past, present, and future. And then we're going to go to bed, and we have to get up early so we can go to breakfast, and we have to be off the ship about 8:30 a.m. So I hope that you enjoyed this series from our cruise on Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas. We had a great time. Again, even though this is an older ship, you really don't need all the bells and whistles of the big fancy things that they put on the new ships.
We should go on Icon. I just want to see what.
Yeah, I am kind of tempted actually to try Icon too, just to see what it's like. But I swear to God, when I look at that thing, it looks like it's going to tip over. Does anybody else feel that way?
They have the entire base is probably just pure water.
I know, it looks like a container ship.
Well, it does.
It does. It's so top heavy.
It's like a container ship. It's like a
colorful container ship.
You know, it's like a ship that takes parts of cruise ships.
You don't need all the bells and whistles. I really feel like the crew and the activities and the entertainment and the food, and then like your itinerary and where you go and the stuff you get to see, that's what makes a good cruise. It's not like all these, oh, there's a roller coaster on it that costs extra, or a go-kart track that costs extra, or anything like that. I like cruises like this where all the good stuff is already included, and you have a great time, because of the customer service that you get from the crew, and the, getting to have a nice dining experience every night, and getting to go to good shows and things like that. And I mean, the simple things like playing games and things like that, I think that's so fun. So that's what we thought. I mean, we really enjoyed this cruise, and I will be doing a video after this one, kind of a review video, telling you different aspects of the cruise, what we thought was really good and what could use some improvement and things like that. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video when it comes out. And if you liked this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And I hope you all have a great day and safe travels.